the Astro Forecast for the week of October 18th to October 24th. This is a big week. Not only do we have a full moon this week, we have two planets that are changing changing direction, and the sun is changing signs. So, big week. So, on Monday, October 18th, we have Jupiter going direct. Now, Jupiter was in retrograde from June 20th, which was summer solstice, and it went from the second degree of Pisces all the way back. So it was kind of slower than the Earth, but by mathematical calculation, it was going back through the retrograde, back through the degrees of the zodiac, and it went all the way, it comes all the way back to the 22nd degree of Aquarius. So what's happening now is as Jupiter will go direct, it will now won't be back to that same degree of Pisces until January 8th of 2022. And what it's going to be doing in this time between now and then is going over those degrees again. And we're going to see that optimism, that kind of oomph to make manifest your dreams. That's going to be the theme for this week, is looking at your big picture goals, looking for how are you not manifesting your big picture dreams for yourself? Where are you holding yourself back? And starting to look at those obstacles and diffuse them one at a time with love and compassion. Okay, that's what Jupiter brings, love and compassion. Now, of course, Jupiter in Aquarius, not such a loving, compassionate sign. It's actually very cerebral. It likes to look at facts and figures and what do we got to do next. That's why a lot of Aquarians are often misunderstood as being cold, but really they're very cerebral. They're just thinking things through. They have a very kind and loving heart, and they're actually very passionate about the environment, about community, about standing up for the underdog. So now we're going to see a lot of these kind of policies being enacted in the collective, and we're going to see that that's called mundane astrology when we look at politics and how it plays into the astrology, or the astrology plays into politics. And so we're going to see with Jupiter going direct now, I think a lot more activism, a lot more people doing, marches and petitions, and maybe even court. What's the word? Oh, my Mercury is working overtime today. Court challenges to policy and legislation that has not been treated well when Jupiter was retrograde. Jupiter does rule the legal system as well. So this is going to be about the community coming together, or, human rights taking, front stage. So this is going to be really great for self-actualization and helping the collective to right some of the wrongs that were happening. And what comes to mind is this, abortion law being overturned in Texas, and how, there's other judicial powers coming into play to right that wrong. We're not going back, to women's suffrage. We are moving forward with women's rights. Mercury is also going direct on this Monday, and Mercury direct in Libra. So when Mercury goes direct, it sort of sits stationary on the same, it's, think of a pendulum as it's changing direction or swinging back. It sort of sits at this end point for a little bit, and that is concentrating the energy at that end point. And that's what today is. So Monday, October 18th, we're going to feel it on the 17th, 18th, and 19th, and maybe even to the 20th, where Mercury is changing direction. So it's going to kind of magnify the issues that Mercury can bring. This is misunderstandings, technology, internet outages, although internet outages is Aquarius, which Jupiter is going direct. So this can be a time of technology issues happening on this day. So if you got any big Zoom plans, maybe you have a backup plan, or, Instagram or Facebook. Make sure that you kind of have a backup. So Mercury is going direct, yay, but not yay for another few days, because it's going to just, again, sit there and kind of make things a little bit worse. Now in Libra is about communication. It's an air sign. It is about intellect, ideas, inspiration, creativity, and it's a cardinal sign. It likes to get things going. So at this time you might feel like, okay, I got this to get things going. And I'm just going to say, just hold on a couple more days until it goes fully direct. I mean, it won't be fully out of shadow until about November 3rd. And of course, you can't wait that long sometimes for contracts. But now the information that's been gleaned between September 27th and October 18th, you've kind of seen things in a new light at this time. So whatever you're kind of come into this new information or new understandings of things, you're going to be enacting that now moving forward. And you're going to see the fruits of your labor for anything that you are reviewing, reassessing, kind of mulling over. I myself was waiting to make some decisions and go forward on things because I wanted to really kind of, what's the word, internalize what was happening here and some of the new inspiration and new information that was coming to light. I got so much new clarity and information, even like secrets coming to light during this time. Very, very interesting. And then on this day, Mars is trine to Jupiter as well. So this is going to, Jupiter is now direct in Aquarius. Again, very impactful day for optimism. You might feel really inspired to go do things. Mars is our motivation, our desire. And again, just be careful that you're not jumping the gun on something because you could still make a kind of hasty decision that you might regret later. So this is a lot of energy, motivation. This can be compromising because Mars is in Libra still, initiating relationships, activities for connection. Now, again, because Mercury is going direct on this day, I would avoid having deep conversations or trying to get to the depths of something that can be fiery because it could be still misunderstandings at this time. So this is a great day to listen. This is a great day to check for understanding and just to come into deeper understandings of things. On Tuesday, October 19th, Venus is in conjunct to Uranus. Really what this means is what you love and value might be just slightly out of reach, or you might feel dejected that you can't get the things you really want because it's just kind of slightly out for reach. So there's a need for change, a new exciting experience. You might have some unexpected experiences happening. This is a time of learning to let go. Plant the seed for your intention and then do the next right action to get you there and just let go of the outcome. That's manifestation. I know that can be so frustrating for people because you're like, what are you talking about? But if you think about like you want a degree in something, you go and you apply, right? And the next right action is to make sure all your credentials are, acceptable to get in to this degree. And let's say you don't get in, your marks are too low. Well, then the next right action is to upgrade your marks, or maybe to think, do I really want this degree? Is this the way I want to go? Is there another way to get to where I want to go? Because the outcome you desire is maybe to be a psychologist. And so maybe the only way to be a psychologist is to get this degree. But what if you could go and do a bunch of certifications in something then could help people maybe in a coaching realm or something else that is like psychology, but not exactly like psychology. Now, not encouraging people to circumvent systems, but I'm encouraging people to understand the outcome you desire and is the road that you've picked what you can get you there, or is there another road to get you there? And if this is the road, then you got to upgrade your marks and try again. And then maybe you get into that point and then you graduate out. So you see what I mean is that you can only concentrate on the next right action. The outcome is still, up to the universe. As you continue to do the next right action, it will come into alignment, right? So on Wednesday, October 20th, we have a full moon in Aries. This is such a beautiful, powerful moon. Lots of fire, lots of not fire, but cardinality. Cardinality means it's the signs that start the season. We have 5 planets in cardinal signs. So there's a lot of kind of get up and go, oomph, wanting to get things done. And the downfall with Aries or any cardinal sign is that you have all this excitement to create. And then once it's kind of into implementation a few months later, you're like, I'm bored of this. I'm going to do something else now. So they really need cardinal signs required. And the cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. They require people on their teams to help them finish projects and see things through to fruition. Capricorn can sometimes strong arm themselves or will themselves through to finish things off because they are that earth sign, but they still require a little bit of support to get things finished to the end. So this will be the lesson of this full moon, is to kind of see where you can put something in action or that you have tried to make your goals manifest because this is a full moon. So culminations, things that have finished coming to light now. And whatever is started, the seeds that were planted for this were actually back on April 11th, 2021. That was the new moon in Aries. I love cycles because as we look at the cycles of things completing, we can start to see where they are giving us momentum and little clues for what's coming to fruition now. So look back on your calendar. If you were following me, I would have told you to put on your calendar an intention that you had set back then for this date, which is October 20th, and see what has come to fruition, culmination. The two words are getting mixed up in my mouth. Now, this full moon is bringing with it a couple of big impact players. One is Mars is moving with the sun. So a full moon is when the moon and the sun are directly opposite at the exact same degree in opposite signs. And so when we have that happening, we have this moon now in this, fiery Aries, and we have the sun in this compromising us Libra, and we have Mars in this compromising us Libra, right? This is like us. Come on, do the best thing for everyone. Right? Where are you compromising at your own peril? And then the square, Pluto, is sitting as square to both these planets. We'll call it a T square. And the T square now is bringing Pluto in Capricorn. And this is bringing up, where are you restricted? Where are you being held back? Pluto in Capricorn is the shadow of where do you feel you're not worthy of what you're wanting? And can you go for that? So us versus them mentality, be careful that you're not closing off your heart during this time. That can feel also tough in the collective because of this Aries fire, right? And this us versus them. This can be more restrictions coming in with Pluto square into the collective with vaccinations. And we're going to see more of the outcomes of people deciding not to get vaccinated in jobs, and then having jobs now be opened up to people who do have vaccinations. So we're going to see more of that outcome fall wherever you fall on that spectrum. This is not a debate, and I'm not here to talk about it. Everyone is intelligent and making the best choices for themselves, and we all want the same thing. So I want you to just remember that if you're watching this and you're watching the news and you're like, oh, those people, they're so stupid. They're not stupid. They're actually brilliant. There's a reason why they feel like that. And if we're not addressing those reasons, those fears, those, they have rational decisions that they're making. They're smart people. Instead of writing that off, can we come together and understand, like, why is this happening? What can we do to diffuse this? How can we now, there's going to be this amazing talent pool that is now being excluded from the jobs that they've come into. Where are they going to go? What are we going to do with them? They have lots to contribute to. Just because they decided not to get a vaccine, we just throw them out? That doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, you can see these people, they're people, they're human. And as humans and humanity, we care for one another. That is the truth. That is this full moon. So be careful of us versus them mentality. This can feel like the shadow and trauma responses that keep you stuck, keep coming up again. You can feel like there's restrictions here, attention, polarizing opposites, secrets revealed during this full moon. Now, there are other aspects here that are giving courage and bravery, to help us come into action and help one another. And with Jupiter going direct in Aquarius, this is about community and humanity coming together to support each other. Now, Friday, October 22nd, there is still this Mars square to Pluto that's kind of more exact on this Friday, but it's going to be in all week. And this Mars square to Pluto is, this is my egoic will. I'm trying to do this thing. And Pluto's like, no, you don't get to do that. It almost feels like restriction, right? So this can be a very, your ego running away with your fears, right? So I want you to think about this what I'm trying to say is oh my gosh, not chronically, logically. That's what I'm trying to think. A chronological order. I don't know why that came out. Logically. And at this logical time, I want you to think about some of these things that are going to be out there, because next week we're going to see more propaganda and things coming up, hearsay. And so be careful about that. But at this point in time, don't let your ego run away with your fears, with your shadow. This is, can be ego controlling the action and ego controlling the narrative. And I'm just going to urge you to come back into your heart and see what is true from a soul perspective. What would love do? That's going to be the key for this week. What would love do? Did you see the light shine in my head? So at the time that I'm recording this, Mercury is retrograde and it's my ruling planet. So I've been having a little bit of a hard time getting words out. The positive of this aspect is you're motivated and you want to do research and you want to dig through to why is this happening? And if we can use this to understand each other versus saying you're you and I'm me, we can start to heal this divide and come back together. Saturday, the sun moves into Scorpio. Now, Scorpio is a water sign, it's fixed energy. So it can be stubborn, it's passionate, it's very sensitive, very intuitive. So this can add more sensitivity to the collective, which good or bad at this point in time. This can add to your intuition. I desire, that is Scorpio's thing, I desire. So it's moving from a cardinal air, thinking, thoughts, ideas, now into feeling. What does that feel like for me? And where am I holding myself back? Pluto is Scorpio's ruling planet in the modern astrology. And so this is asking us, where's your shadow limiting you? Where's the fear that you have? And can we heal that fear? This is going to be strong-willed, intense energy, intimacy, extreme feelings, passion, research, investigation, introspection. Yes, to introspection, right? And then Sunday, we have Mercury in conjunction Uranus, and there's a kink in the energy with our thinking, our thoughts, and what do we want to do. And this in a positive way, this is ingenious ideas, great conversations. This can be your thoughts can feel erratic and you can feel like your agenda, not a good day to have an agenda on Sunday, but it's Sunday, so, just kind of go with the flow on this Sunday. Mind all over the place, no agenda will be followed on this day. So just have an open, yeah, let's go with it. But if you're able to flow, there can be some really great experiences come in. Let's say you go to the farmer's market and you're like, oh, let's go to the farmer's market. Sure. And then you meet somebody you haven't seen in a long time and have a great conversation about the past. Mercury is now direct, right? This can also be so ingenious ideas, great conversations. And then in a negative way, this can be extreme beliefs, propaganda. So again, be careful what you believe to be true, of course, doing research. But what I found with all of this is you can research both sides of the story and find information for both sides, right? And credible sources too, doctors, nurses, scientists on both sides of all of these debates. So if you think, how much more information can we put out? Information is not enough. That's what I'm saying, what I'm hearing a lot from my friends on both sides of this. Information isn't enough. We need to actually have deep heart-to-heart conversations with, I hear you, I see you. That's not my experience, or I don't know anyone else who's having that experience, or how can we help people in whatever way they need it? I don't know the answer. I'm not in politics for a reason. So I just say, sit in the seat of the soul in your heart this week and say to yourself, what would love do? That'll be the answer. All right. Wishing you a wonderful week ahead. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Have the best week.